Hello everyone, this is your set number 7, Interaction and Innovation. The period which we will discuss is of about 500 years from 200 BC to 300 AD, and we will discuss about the Kushanas, the Satavahanas and the Sangam literature in the following questions. So let's begin. Okay, so first you have this question. The Indo-Laos Kingdom, wait, let me take the pen here. Yes, fine. So our first question is, the Indo-Laos Kingdom set up in North Afghanistan in the beginning of the 2nd century BC. Which was that kingdom? So see, this was the period, this 200 BC to 300 AD, when many outside kingdoms tried to invade India. So one of it was the Bactria kingdom. Bactria is the ancient name of the area lying to the south of Oxus River and northwest of the Hindu Kush mountains, and corresponds to the northern part of the modern Afghanistan. The Greeks of Bactria were originally satrapas. Satrapas was the term used for subordinate rulers. So you can get a question like this, of Seleucid Empire of West Asia. And Greeks, moreover all of them were Greeks. So Greeks first introduced military governorship in India. They occupied their governors called strategos. Okay, so plain factual thing, nothing to discuss more on this. The practice of military, again next question, the practice of military governorship was first introduced in India by the Greeks, as we have already seen here. Next question. This is a good question asked in NDA 2023 about the Rabatak inscription. 4 statements, which one is incorrect? So Rabatak inscription, it throws important light on Kushana genealogy. It refers to Kanishka as a king of kings and a son of God, and it mentions name of states which were part of Kanishka's empire. And it is indeed 23-line inscription, extremely factual thing, but not written in the Gandhari language, but it's written in the Bactrian language and the Greek script. This is from your box, and these are the notes from that short note from that big box. Rabatak inscription, it's in Afghanistan, a valuable record belonging to Kanishka's reign. He is also referred to as a king of kings and a son of gods. It throws light on Kushana genealogy. The inscription also clearly indicates that Vima Cadphises and Kanishka were father and son. Okay, next question. On the Satavahanas, very easy question. I think it's also mentioned in your chapter 1. Okay. The Satavahanas are identified in the Puranas by which one of the following epithets? It's Andhras. The Satavahana Empire of the Deccan, identified with the Andhras of the Puranas. This thing you should also remember, that the term Andhra Bhritya in the Purana is taken by some historians to indicate that the ancestors of Satavahanas were subordinates of the Mauryas. Rule of the dynasty began in the midst of 1st century BC and ended in the early 3rd century AD. The Satavahana Empire eventually came to cover modern Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Karnataka, MP and Saurashtra. Founder was Simoka. Next question. Now these upcoming 5 to 6 questions, all of them dealing with the Indian philosophical schools and the heterodox schools of philosophy. Okay, so first question, which one of the following pairs does not form part of the 6th system of Indian philosophy? Let's see this diagram. This is what I have already drawn in the notes. Early Indian philosophical schools. We have basically 2 kind of schools, the Astika, who accept the Vedas authority, and those who reject the Vedas authority, known as Nastika school, theist and atheist. So in Astika school, we have 6 darshanas. Darshanas is a Hindi term for philosophy. Okay. So there are 6 darshana: Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, and Purv Mimamsa and Uttar Mimamsa. Okay. Now you can also get a question like this: who were the propounder of those philosophies? So Sankhya philosophy's propounder was Kapila, Yoga Patanjali, it's very easy, Nyaya by Gautama, Vaisheshika by Kanada, Purv Mimamsa Gemini, and Uttar Mimamsa, also known as Vedanta, Vyas. Okay. Now when you come to Nastika school, there are Lokayatas, Buddhism and Jainism. Buddhism and Jainism, we have separate appendix and we have a separate theme on just these two religions. Okay, we will discuss around 30 to 32 questions, previous year questions, only on Buddhism and Jainism. All at once we will cover tomorrow. Oh, sorry, in the next set number, if I am not wrong, around set number 11 or 12. Then you have Lokayata. Lokayata have two prominent schools, Dhruta and Sushikshika. Sushikshita. Dhruta and Sushikshita. Dhruta do not accept the idea of soul, whereas Sushikshita accepted the idea of soul. Just remember this thing in crux. Now see this question. To which one of the following schools of philosophy did Kumarila Bhatt and Prabhakar belong? They belong to Purv Mimamsa, whose propounder was Gemini. Okay. You have one more question here. According to Mimamsa system of philosophy, liberation is possible by means of karma. We will see ahead in the explanation. While Purv Mimamsa focused on sacrificial acts, Vedanta, also known as Uttar Mimamsa, focused on the knowledge and was based on an interpretation of the Upanishads. The Nyaya system of logic attached importance to perception, reasoning and inference. Those of you who are from a philosophy optional, you may find these things quite interesting and may know more than me about these philosophical systems. But from history point of view, such questions have been covered by UPSC not quite often, but we are witnessing quite factual thing on these philosophical schools. So this is, I think, this much at least you should remember. These are the crux in one or two lines of all these philosophical systems. So the Nyaya system of logic attached importance to perception, reasoning and inference. Two fundamental categories in Sankhya thought are the Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha, the spiritual principle, and the Prakriti is matter. Yoga is a manual of yogic practice. The aim is to focus the mind in such a way as to achieve complete tranquility and control. Sankhya philosophy holds that it is the self-knowledge that leads to liberation and not any exterior influence or agent. Sankhya also believed in the theory of rebirth. This is important. This is our next question. With reference to the history of philosophical thought in India, consider the following statements regarding Sankhya school. Sankhya does not accept the theory of rebirth. No, they accepted the theory of rebirth or transmigration of soul. Sankhya hold that it is the self-knowledge that leads to liberation and not any exterior influence or agent. Yes, absolutely correct. Next question. Which among the following are Charvaka school of philosophy, also known as the Lokayatas? Dhruta, Nyaya, Sushikshita and Vaisheshika. We have already seen in our diagram here. Lokayata, Dhruta and Sushikshita. Okay, you can get much detailed statement based question whether Dhruta accepted the idea of soul or not. Okay, and these two schools belong to Lokayata. So many ways question can get framed on this chart only. Okay, anyway, moving to the next question. Now the Sangam literature things. Assertion reasoning based question appeared in way back 2000. The Aham and Puram poems of the Padinin Kilu, I'm sorry for the pronunciation, poems of the Padinin Kilu Kanakku group formed a continuation of the Sangam composition. The Aham and Puram poems, we know they are part of Sangam literature. They were included under the post-Sangam works as against the Sangam works proper. Yes, that's true. The Aham and Puram were included under the post-Sangam works. And here we have some crucial inputs on Sangam literature and its revelation about the society. Akam and Puram poems of the Padinane Kilukkanakku group formed a continuation of the Sangam composition because they were included under the post-Sangam works as against the proper Sangam works. Now these are the things from your notes also. Sangam literature reflects a society, one which celebrate war and love. There was a close relationship between kings and the bards, and the Puram poems praised the valor and generosity of kings. There are also the beautiful love Akam poems that speaks of the love between man and woman. The social classification of Varna was known to Sangam poets. There is mention of Arashar kings, Vaishayar traders and Velalar farmers. The fourfold Varna classification had little application. This is important. The conventional fourfold Varna system, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, had little application to ancient Tamil society. The Jati system was not a feature of this society either. The more relevant basis of social classification was Kuti. The Kuti was clan-based descent groups and were central to the early Tamil system of agricultural production. Sangam literature reflects a belief in sacred or magical forces called Anakku that were supposed to inhabit various objects. The job of carrying out rites and rituals to control the Anakku was that of groups such as the Paryans, Tutiyans, Panans and Velans. They were associated with ritualistic singing, dancing and trances, and with lighting the cremation fire and worshipping memorial stones. In the context of South India, Sangam literature indicates the existence of many specialized crafts such as weaving, gem working, shell working and metal working. Existence of many specialized crafts. I mean, this is a kind of material things. Okay. Now you see this question. Statements about the Sangam literature are correct. Sangam poems are devoid of any reference to material culture. No, we have just seen this. These many crafts work were prevalent at that time in Sangam period. Option number C, Sangam poems have no reference to warrior ethic. Of course not, we have already seen. Sangam literature reflects a society, one which celebrated war and love. We will also see this thing in the next question. There I will tell you how important it is to read around the spaces, what I more often say to you in that Vattakirutal question. Just remember this line, Sangam poems have no reference to warrior ethic. No, this is not the case. Sangam literature refers to magical forces as irrational. No, they celebrated it. Sangam literature reflects a belief in sacred or magical forces called Anakku. Okay, so next question. This is much talked about question of 2023 prelims, Vattakirutal from the Sangam poems. So it was a practice mentioned in Sangam poems. So what was it? It is basically a king defeated in a battle committing ritual suicide by starving himself to death. From page number 424, chapter 8, Upinder Singh. Now you read this statement, the opening line of this paragraph. Sangam poems are pervaded with a warrior ethic. Can you see in this question, Sangam poems have no reference to warrior ethic. So they just, shuffled this line with negative term and made this statement wrong from here. Now, if you read this paragraph ahead, the goal of the hero of Puram poems was Pukal and a heroic death was greatly valued. It was believed that the spirit of a warrior who died in battle dwelt in paradise. A poem in the Purana Nuru suggests that the bodies of warriors who did not die in battle were cut with swords before the funerary rites to simulate death in battle. The practice of Vattakirutal was one in which a defeated king committed ritual suicide by starving himself to death, accompanied by those who had been close to him during his lifetime. The worship of memorial stones, Natukal, remember this term, memorial stones, was a corollary of the importance of the heroic ideal. Memorial stones were erected in honor of heroes who died fighting valiantly in battle. The spirit of the fallen hero was believed to reside in these stones. So you see, the importance of reading in and around this space, up, down, left, right. Just this first line they picked up and made a wrong statement in 2022, and just after 3-4 lines from the same paragraph, they found a term called Vattakirutal and framed you this unconventional question in your most recent last year prelims in 2023. This is the game, this is the thing. Okay, next question. On the guilds, Shreni, of ancient India that played a very important role in our country's economy, statements about them, true or false? 2 statements are correct, that the wages, rules of work, standards and prices were fixed by the guild. The guild had judicial powers over its own members. Yes, absolutely correct. But the statement number 1, every guild was registered with the central authority of the state and the king was the chief administrative authority on them. No. If you remember the prominent guilds called Manigramam, Ayyavol, you have a question on Manigramam 3-4 times, we will see in the upcoming set. Their head were dedicated persons, not the king. Okay, hence this statement is wrong. Statement number 1 is wrong. Let's read some more on the guilds. They acted as bankers. Several inscriptions of this period refer to this period. What period? I told you we are in 200 BC to 300 AD. This period inscription refer to people investing money with guilds as a pious endowment, the interest from which was to be given over to Brahmanas, Buddhist monks, or earmarked for some other pious activity. Mathura and Nasik inscriptions talks about the guilds. People may have spread out their investment in different guilds to be on the safe side in case one of the guilds went bankrupt. Kind of a bank run situation. Okay, so this was the thing for your set number 7, interaction and innovation. We have seen questions on Kushanas, Satavahanas and on the Sangam literature. Very beautiful questions. Upcoming set is set number 8. Thank you so much. See you in the next set.